Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing tonight? Excited for a great night of music? All right. My name is Brent Ruggles. I'm the Vice President of the World Folk Music Association. We affectionately call WFMA. So on behalf of WFMA and Focus Music, we're glad to have you here today. A couple of housekeeping items. First of all, we all have these computers we keep in our pockets. If you could put that on vibrate or stun or zap or something other than noise. Appreciate it. I'll wait. All right. And then if you want to take pictures, they're welcome. We just do ask that you refrain from flash photography. Keep everybody's experience enjoyable. Flash it at me. So with that, we have a great night of music for you tonight. Who's never seen Dave Rowe in concert before? Oh, you guys are in for a treat. So what can we say about Dave? He's a troubadour, musician, singer, songwriter, yachtsman, and sailor. In fact, I was in the Coast Guard for 21 years, and he has more sailing time than I do. So just from the last 5 years, probably alone. He's comes from a musical family. Grandfathers were both professional jazz musicians. His father was a member of Tom Rowe was member of the trio Schooner Fair, if you remember them. Excellent music lineage. And Dave is well known up and down the eastern seaboard. He's booked into concerts all over. And he's just a delight to hear. He's a great storyteller as well as a songwriter. And between his Irish music and his originals, it's just a great variety you're going to enjoy tonight. With that, give a warm welcome to Dave Rowe.
Thank you. Thank you, Brent. It's only a building, it's only a place, a shelter to hide from the battle or the race. It's a place I might go if I don't know what to do, but you know it's not a home without you. It's warmth from the fire to shake off the winter chill, a window many hours spent with elbows on the sill. It's a tapping on the rooftop that the rain just can't fall through, but you know it's not a home without you. Here's the chorus. Home is where the hugs are warm, where the words are kind. Home is clocks that strike the hour but never pass the time. There are many things a home could be, but still these words ring true. You know it's not a home without you. Now, chorus is interesting. That's a place where everybody gets to sing together, usually. And I know, it's how many have never heard me before? How many have heard enough? All right. So that chorus right there, it goes, home is where the hugs are warm and where the words are kind. Home is clocks that strike the hour but never pass the time. There are many things a home could be, but still these words ring true. You know it's not a home without you. And I think you should sing it along. Here we go. Home is where the hugs are warm and where the words are kind. Home is clocks that strike the hour but never pass the time. There are many things a home could be, but still these words ring true. You know it's not a home without you. So you'll get it by the end. So I'm sitting in my room, writing words on a page. I think about this life we share and how our ways have changed. And I wonder if the same holds true for you shore for me? Would this home be home for you without me? Try it out. Home is where the hugs are warm and where the words are kind. Home is clocks that strike the hour but never pass the time. There are many things a home could be, but still these words ring true. You know it's not a home without you. One more. Home is where the hugs are warm and where the words are kind. Home is clocks that strike the hour but never pass the time. There are many things a home could be, but still these words ring true. You know it's not a home without you. Yes, there are many things a home could be, but still these words ring true. You know it's not a home without you. Yeah, you know it's not a home without you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, who came the furthest? Should we play that game? You did? Where'd you come from? Virginia? California. I was going to say, we're in Virginia. Thanks for being here. You fly in just for this? Okay. One of the things that I just got back to the States actually from 9 days abroad. Stacy and I were on a cruise through the fjords of Norway, an Irish music cruise. And it was a good time, I'll tell you what. And the fjords of Norway are gorgeous. And if you have a chance to cruise through them, you should. Just make sure you do it before 2026 when they won't allow anything but zero emissions cruise ships in the fjords. I still don't understand how that works. I don't think there are any yet. But I'm taking this as an excuse to sing an Irish song. Thank you both. And actually, this is only an Irish song. Well, it's an Irish song under duress, really, because it's an American folk song that the Clancy brothers recorded. And therefore, it's now an Irish song. That's how that works, you understand. I'm also doing another Irish cruise coming up. Actually, I think I have two coming up. In October of 2025, I'm doing an Irish cruise with my good buddy Rory Makem and Danny O'Flaherty and Aoife Clancy and I think one or two other artists. And it's going to be a leaf-peeping cruise of the New England states and part of the Canadian Maritimes up into Nova Scotia. That's going to be lovely. And then in April of 2026, I think, it's still waiting for confirmation on this, but I believe I'm going to be doing a cruise in and among the Hawaiian Islands. So I need to keep doing Irish songs, I think is what I'm trying to say. I have to stay in practice. This one goes, I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home, and if you don't like me, you can leave me alone. I eat when I'm hungry, I drink when I'm dry, and if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. That's your part. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home, and if you don't like me, you can leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry, and if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. I've been a moonshiner for many's the year. I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. I'll go to some hollow and set up my still, and I make you a jug for a $2 bill. Here we go! I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home, and if you don't like me, you can leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry, and if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. I'll go to some hollow way out on the lee, 10 gallons a wash, I'll go on a spree. No women to love me, the world is all mine. For I love none so well as I love the moonshine. Come on! I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home. And if you don't like me, you can leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. And if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. Now moonshine, dear moonshine, oh how I love thee. You kill me, poor father, but you'll never kill me. Now bless all moonshiners and bless all moonshine, for their breath smells as sweet as the dew on the vine. Sing it! I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home. And if you don't like me, you can leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. And if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home. And if you don't like me, you can leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. And if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. Thank you very much. I'll leave that right there. This, how many of you remember my dad? Just out of curiosity. A few of you. He wrote a bunch of songs. I did one of mine, I'll do one of his now. I think that's appropriate. This is a song that he wrote about my French-Canadian heritage because he had none of his own. My mother, 100% French-Canadian. As a matter of fact, when I did the little, spit in the vial and send it to the Mormons thing, it came back that I was 49% French. That's how good it was. The rest, mutt. All of it, just mutt. There's, I'm surprised I'm not howling right now. But my dad grew up in the same community that I did. He just, he was born, he got older, he never moved, I think is what it came down to. Just didn't see a reason to. So consequently, he grew up among my French-Canadian relatives. And he got to admire their work ethic. They were in the early 20th century and the late 19th century, right up and, until the 50s or 60s, they were the immigrant class in central Maine. My grandfather, my father's father, mutt number one, when he would go, because, when my parents married, my grandfather, remember Archie Bunker? Right? My grandfather was Archie Bunker with a Maine accent. And he went over one day after, because he drove a line inspector's truck for the power company up there. And he dropped in on my mother one afternoon. And this was years after my parents actually had divorced, but he was in the neighborhood, so he stopped by to say hi. And he walked into the kitchen, and he said, "Can I get a glass of water?" And my mother said, "Sure, you can have a glass of water." And the cups are in the cabinet right there. So he walked over to the cabinet, and he opened the cabinet and selected a glass and went over to the sink. And the faucet, instead of being a delta that you sort of lift up to turn on, it was this weird thing that had been original to the house, and it was built in the 40s, that you push forward instead of lifting up. And he could not figure out how to make that thing work. "What is this,
French, Canadian, well, I don't even remember what he said, but some sort of frog engineer in here, what is this? And my mother had to show him how to turn the water faucet on. But he did not have nice things, even then, in her presence, in her kitchen, to say about French Canadians. But, you know, he made it into a joke. But the immigrant class has always been there among us. And today, I'm watching the next generation and the generation after that who are treating immigrants that are coming into our midst from places like Somalia and Guatemala and Honduras with the same derision that my grandfather's generation treated the French Canadians back in the day. And I see history repeating itself, and it's the same people who were, at the time, the immigrant class, who were the ones doing it now. And it's just, it seems to be this pattern that we have of always othering the new people on the block. And so as my dad sat down, I don't think this was what he was trying to create when he wrote Quebecois. I don't think he was saying, you know, don't call these people frogs. I think he was celebrating a culture. But I'm taking it a step further and saying every culture is worth celebrating, and this was one. And it's a damn good one, and it's half of me. And I hope you sing along with me on this one. My name is Levesque, I'm a son of Quebec. I'm a farmer and a Frenchman by birth. I am used to hard work and the sun on my neck, and I raised what I could from the earth. But now I'm a weaver in some rich man's mill, making blankets to earn a week's pay. And it's 6 days a week, dawn to dark in this hell, but I'm going back home come someday. I'm Giselle Corriveau, and I'm joining my beau in the spring when the log drive is through. He's a woodsman, you know, and I do love him so, and for him there's not much I won't do. So I sweat all day long in this shoe factory just to put a few dollars away to save toward a farm in our own country, 'cause we're going back home come someday. Here's your part. It is work, it is family, it's church, it is God. It is why we came here to this land, to make a new life and be what we are, the proud and the strong Quebecois, the proud and the strong Quebecois. Across the Erie Canal to the Great Lakes, up through the Great Lakes. Once you get to Chicago, you head back into the western rivers, and you head all the way down the western rivers. Most people take the Tennessee-Tom-Bigby Waterway, which opened in the 1980s, and a lot of people don't even know it exists. But there's another way to get to the Gulf besides the Mississippi River. Let's just put it that way. So you take the Tennessee-Tom-Bigby Waterway to Mobile Bay, and then you are presented with this wonderful inland waterway, the Intracoastal Waterway that goes from Brownsville, Texas, all the way to Norfolk. All right, so you can stay in sheltered water, basically, with two minor areas where you have to cut across the dogleg in Florida. That's a 24-hour trip at 6 knots, and then you have to go from New Jersey to New York. Those are the only two open ocean passages on the entire trip. 6,000 miles. It took us a year. And some people have done it in 3 weeks on those jet skis, you know. But while we did that trip, we saw some things, some amazingly beautiful areas of this country and up in Canada, in the North Channel and in Georgian Bay. And by the time we got to Pensacola, Florida, where we had to sit still for a month because I had to play at a songwriters festival, and also we had to go to the West Coast for a couple of days to appear on America's Funniest Home Videos, we came in second. But while we were sitting there in Pensacola, out on the end of this beautiful dock with nothing but seabirds and dolphins playing, and in a gorgeous, gorgeous bayou, I started reflecting on the entire trip that we had taken so far, and we were about 2/3 of the way through the Great Loop at that point. And it had just occurred to me that there was no other way to see the sights that we saw other than from the water. And so few people do what we did. I had to write this song. It's called Before the Time of Man.
Twilight falls, starlight calls, darkness chills the air, and far away the heart will stray, a yearning with no care. And through this night the winds might fight, though none the victor be, till morning light on western bight warms the rising sea. The scene has played 10 million times, it's seen by far too few. This life, this glimpse is but a flash to me. It's all so new. Tides rise and fall on granite wall, carved not by human hands. To count the days in ancient ways, before the time of man. Before the bend where rivers blend and brackish water churns, the trees reach out with a weathered bough, the leaf that sunward turns. And through it all these eyes must fall on visions few will see, unbidden gaze through morning haze unto the frothing sea. The scene has played 10 million times, it's seen by far too few. This life, this glimpse is but a flash to me. It's all so new. Tides rise and fall on granite wall, carved not by human hands. To count the days in ancient ways, before the time of man. To count the days in ancient ways, before
Thank you.
Well, I'm always surprised when it starts coming out of the other side. On that side, I could hear it in my left ear. Now I can hear it in my right ear. This is a song that I wrote on a Martin Luther King Day. I'm not going to tell you when because there's no point in any of us dating ourselves, right? Life has a way of doing that for you. You don't have to admit to it all. It's based on a quote from MLK Jr. himself. And the way this came about, I was watching the morning news. It was probably the Today Show. And the anchor, as they tend to do, was trying to bring some sort of relevance to the day, to the hour, by spouting off in his dulcet tones something about MLK. And he spit this particular quote out. And I thought to myself, wow, why isn't that a song? And no sooner had I had that thought, I reminded myself that I'm a songwriter. Hey, dummy, I think is how it started up here. I don't mean to be the one to break this to you, but you could make that happen. So I did. And this is an easy song to sing along with because the only thing you need to remember is the quote itself, which is, I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. And then it repeats. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Try it. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Love is gentle, love is kind. Love is the only answer in hard times. Hate solves nothing and brings us down. Love is the only thing that turns it round. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Dream of love, dream with your heart. When setting out in life, make love your start. When times are hard, love finds a way. Even when the word is hard to say. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have
Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Thank you. Thanks very much. While I'm sitting right here at this instrument, I'm going to use it again because, I'm over 50 now, this getting up, sitting down thing. For instance, I've finally arrived at the age that when I bend over to tie my shoes, I look for other things to do while I'm down there. I don't know if it's happened to you, but... and I happen to have this new song that I have not yet learned. Which is why I'm also going to bring out the... now, students. It's right here. I try to fake it and be like, I don't need those, but I do. It's new. It's not so new that I couldn't have learned it 3 years ago. But I don't know about you, but I haven't had a chance to play this song a lot over the last 3 years because I don't do a lot of these types of sit-down concerts the way I used to back in the old days before COVID killed the concert. There used to be more concerts, right? Am I? Yeah. So I want to congratulate you all this evening for beating the cable package. You're out here. You beat the cable companies at their own game. They may be taking your money, but you're right here with other people in a room together listening to live music, which is getting rarer and rarer and rarer. And so I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here with all of you, and I think we all deserve a round of applause. Because excuse me, I got to do this. We all are married to our screens, right? We just are. What can you say? So this song came about because I can't see you with these on. During COVID, and this is an excellent segue from one COVID thought to another. During COVID, I was the music director for the Unitarian Universalist Society of Iowa City. I was. I did it from Portland, Maine. I was providing music for church services in Iowa City from Portland, Maine. And I will not bore you with the story that made all those connections happen, but I did that for 10 months. And then they finally hired a music director. But in that time, I happened to pen a few pieces of music for the congregation, and this is one of them. Without rain, there are no flowers. Without sun, there is no rain. Without love, there is no beauty. Without life, there is no pain. Now if you cast your eyes skyward through that bright ethereal blue, and you see the boundless beauty all around Without flowers, there is no springtime. And without leaves, there is no fall. Without the moon, there's only darkness. Without the stars, nothing at all. Now if you cast your eyes skyward through that bright ethereal blue, and you see the boundless beauty all around us, you know it's true. Take these flowers, behold their beauty, and smell the fragrance that they share. Such beauty lasts for just a short time. Enjoy the moment they are here. Now if you cast your eyes skyward through that bright ethereal blue, and you see the boundless beauty all around us, you know it's true. And you see the boundless beauty all around us, you know it's true. Yeah. You ever have one of those days? It's a very stubborn guitar stand. It actually works quite well, and it's very compact, so it folds up and it fits into a very nice space on the boat, which is why I bought it. The other reason was it was $3. Now I know why it was $3. Would you all sing one with me, please? I bet we'll have the room rocking in no time here. One, yes? Right there. Was down by Killarney's green wood that we strayed, moon and the stars, they were shining. The moon shone its rays on her locks of golden hair, and she swore she'd be my love forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne, and my love is fairer than any. 'Twas down by Killarney's green wood that we strayed. The moon and the stars, they were shining. The moon shone its rays on her locks of golden hair, and she swore she'd be my love forever. Come on! Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne, and my love is fairer than any. 'Twas not for the parting of my sister Kate, 'twas not for the grief of my mother, 'twas all for the loss of my bonny Irish lass, that my heart is breaking forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne, and my love is fairer than any. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley.
see, what was supposed to happen is that little gadget down there that wasn't working was supposed to record the guitar while I was playing and singing. And then at some point, it was going to start playing for me so I could play a nice tin whistle solo for you. Didn't work out that way. Yeah, we could try again. That's right. Next time. How are we doing here? I think we're doing brilliantly. I'm going to do one more song and then give you all a chance to stand up and stretch and move around and talk amongst yourselves. You can go over and visit Stacy at the CD buffet. It's wafting over here right now. It smells delicious. I know she'd love to meet you. I might even go hang out over there myself. So come over and say hi. And the CDs, of course, nobody buys CDs anymore. Except you, of course. Right. That's off. All right. Everything's working now, as far as I know. Close enough. All right, so I'm going to finish up the set here with... Did I just change my mind? I just changed my mind. I'm going to finish up the set with a George Wurzbach song. What's that? A little less pressure, please. So this is a wonderful sentiment. And it's clever. And it's also a great sing-along. And I get to test and make sure this thing works. I used to walk through this world, cautious and oh so serious, till the life I was living was nearly a near-death experience. Well, I changed my story when I finally saw where I wasn't where it was at. But now I'm alive, I let destiny drive, and I'm stretching out in the back. If I lose my job, come on, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. You got that right? In the vastness of space, the ever-expanding universe, we are all puny specks of galactic dust down on Mother Earth. Well, I ain't no preacher, don't know if I'll reach ya, but here is some humble advice. Use your uncommon sense, and you surely will live an uncommonly sensible life. Come on! If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. Well, I ain't no preacher, don't know if I'll reach ya, but here is some humble advice. Use your uncommon sense, and you surely will live an uncommonly sensible life. Come
come on. If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. One more. If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. I'll have a much better view of the moon. I'll have a much better view of the moon. I'll be back.
Another hand for Dave Rowe. Isn't that great? Bad news is half the concert's over. The good news is we have half still to come. Before we go, real quick, for the benefit of the people that are watching online, you notice part of the concert dropped for a bit. It dropped here in the room, too. We lost power in the building. Probably had a little bit bigger break online because it took a little while for the internet to come back up. So just so the people online know, we missed a couple minutes, too, while we waited for power to come back on. But we're all having a great time, right? All right. We're going to take a 15-minute break. Check out the CDs. You know what? You bang on the CDs, but I heard that if Dave signs it, it opens up some stereophonic special effects that you don't get unless he signs the CD to unlock it. So get his autograph on one of those CDs. We'll see you in 15 minutes. and I'd like to take a minute introduce to you before we do our drawing here, which is next. This is Chuck Morse, our president of the World Folk Music Association.
Thank you, Brent. The first thing I would like to do is to thank all of you on behalf of the World Folk Music Association for showing up in person and not in person. So all of you who are watching online and here in person, we really appreciate it. The next thing I have to do is give away something, and that will be, Brent, what is it?
We have a DVD, the Let's Get Together concert, 2005. It's a 20th annual World.
And there are many of you in the audience who already have a copy. I realize that, but
Still a good gift for friends.
okay, so I get to draw. That feels like a good one. I got two.
That's why I felt good.
I only brought one DVD, so I think I have to look. There we go. C. Piper. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is maybe move over here so I don't pull something out of the wall. Tell you a little bit about what's coming up, being presented by the World Folk Music Association, and particularly right here in this building. So we generally schedule 4 shows a year, 2 in the spring and 2 in the fall. And we're kind of stretching the spring here to do the last one in the end of June. But we will be taking the summer off. And then on October the 26th, we will have the one and only Carrie Newcomer. So that should be a wonderful experience. We do not yet have tickets on sale, but we're working very hard to get those, and they'll be on our website, wfma.net. And then we will finish up with the year with a 6-member Celtic music group called the Good Folk. And they are, okay, so I think you'll enjoy that one as well. So that's on November the 23rd. And then we'll take the winter break and we'll be back in the spring. So we have a lot of good music coming up the rest of this year. We've got a lot of good music coming up in the second half. So come on up, Dave.
I have a lot of decisions to make. I had a number of requests on the break. To that one woman in the back, the microphone won't fit, so I can't do that. She went down last October in a pouring driving rain. The skipper he'd been drinking and the mate he felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock and she was dealt a mortal blow. Then the Mary Ellen Carter settled low. There was Justice 5 aboard her when she finally was awash. We worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. And the groans she gave as she went down had caused us to proclaim that the Mary Ellen Carter'd rise again. Well, the owners rode her off
not a nickel would they spend. She gave 20 years of service, boys, and met a sorry end. The insurance paid the loss to us, so let her rest below. Then they laughed at us and said we'd have to go. But we talked to her all winter, some days around the clock, for she's worth $250,000 just floating at the dock. And with every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again, rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Well, all spring now we've been with her on a barge lent by a friend. 3 dives a day in a hard hat suit and twice a pad the bends. Thank God it's only 60 feet and the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. So we patched her and stopped up her vents, dog catching port all down, tied cables to her fore and aft, then girded her around. Tomorrow noon we'll hit the air and then take up the strain and watch the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Come on! Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. For we couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble in the scale. She'd saved our lives so many times, living through the gales, and the laughing drunken rats who left her to a sorry grave, they won't be laughing in another day. And you to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, that smiling bastards lying to you everywhere you go. Turn to and put out all your strength of arm and heart and brain, and like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Come on! Rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken and life about to end, no matter what you lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. Thank you. Well, thanks for sticking around. I really don't take it for granted that you'll be here for the second half after an intermission like that. But I'm sure glad you are. A couple of people asked for this song during the break. It's a song I wrote about a grave in Gray, Maine. How many have been to Maine? How many know where Gray is? It's the most appropriately named town in the entire state of Maine. Gray sent more young men to fight in the Civil War
than any other town per capita in the entire state of Maine. So consequently, there's a large portion of the town cemetery dedicated to the Civil War. And when you get off the highway right there in Gray, you get off I-95, first thing's going to happen is you're going to come to a light. And as you're sitting there at that light, you will see this entire cemetery up on the side of the hill in front of you. And you might think, boy, that's big. That's a big cemetery. And most of what you see is Civil War from the road. It's right there. In the middle of that, there's a grave that's simply marked Stranger of the Late War. And that grave contains, well, somebody who probably didn't belong there. You see, in those days, if you lost a loved one on the war, in the war zone, you had the choice as to whether they would be buried there or with you. And the only difference between those buried there or with you in your own hometown was how much money you could give the War Department to ship the body back. And so there was a huge divide between officers and enlisted men as to whether they were buried there or brought home. When Lieutenant Charles Colley was killed, he died from his injuries following the Battle of Cedar Mountain. The Colley family put their pennies together. He was a lieutenant. He had rank. He was sending money home. So they paid the War Department to bring him back. And when the casket came off the train, they lifted the lid, and they were shocked to see a Confederate soldier laying there. It wasn't their son. And I'm sure they were filled with a mixture of elation, dread, and confusion. And they wrote the War Department and said, think you made a mistake. And the War Department, being the bureaucracy it was, said, oh, well, you could pay us to take him back. And they decided instead to buy another grave in the same cemetery. They didn't have to do anything. They could have dumped him in the woods. Nobody would have given them any trouble about that. They bought another plot in that same cemetery. They buried him like their own, and the town took up a collection and set that marble stone that sits there to this day, Stranger of the Late War. And on Memorial Day, every year, they decorate that grave with flowers and a rebel flag. This is the Stranger. From the Cedar Mountain Battle of 1862 came a fallen soldier's casket as the 10th Maine paid its dues. The grieving parents braced to see their Union son lay dead, but in his place they found a boy in Southern gray instead. As the tears rolled down their faces, they searched vainly for his name. But they never learned to journey to their village up in Maine. Without the funds to send him back, he was buried like their own. And there above his resting place, they carved Stranger on the stone. And the stranger in gray
is lying there today, a misdirected casualty of war, surrounded by the ones who fired the Union guns. A stranger in gray will see Dixie nevermore. Fate must have a sense of humor as it winds along its way, for it led that gray-clad stranger to a little town named Gray. But even when the real son he was found and buried there, the town made sure the stranger was included in their prayers. And when the ladies place the flowers and the flags are left to wave, beside the stranger's flowers, a rebel flag flies on his grave. Now he lies with the others who in life he sought to kill. All the rifle fire is ended, the cannonballs are still, and flowers of blue grow softly by that stranger's marble stone, to show to all that blue and gray don't have to be alone. Yet the stranger in gray is still lying there today, a misdirected casualty of war, surrounded by the ones who fired the Union guns. The stranger in gray is no stranger anymore. Yes, the stranger in gray will see Dixie nevermore. Thank you very much. While I'm doing main stories here, that of course was a main story. I wrote that song. This next song is a main story. I wrote this one. It's about a lighthouse off the coast of Maine. And this one's a ghost story. Spooky. Hold on. That's spooky enough. Here we go. So there's an island off the coast of Maine called Boone Island. And Boone Island is a place where the Nottingham Galley wrecked back in the 18th century. It was a terrible, terrible shipwreck in a terrible spot. That island is about the size of this room. It's solid granite. There isn't a blade of grass on it, not a tree. It's just a desolate desert of a place. There's not a thing to burn. There's not a thing to eat. And when the Nottingham Galley washed up there, or what remained of her crew, it was winter. And those men didn't have anything to eat except each other as they fell one by one. And the few who remained, when they finally were rescued a couple months later, said, sometime in a couple hundred years, some dude from Maine is going to write a song about this. And it'll have nothing to do with the fact that we ate each other. So I told you all of that just to set up the idea that this is a terrible place. It took the Army Corps of Engineers 3 tries to get a lighthouse to stay on this island.
They built the first one out of straw. And they tried sticks. And it was such a terrible, desolate place. I mean, we're talking 6-7 miles offshore in the open ocean, where when the storms come up, all they want to do is try to remove that lighthouse from the island. It's all the weather seems to want to do. 30, 40-foot waves and winds and hurricane force winds and rain going sideways. And it is a terrible, terrible place. And lighthouse keepers did not want to get that assignment. They'd draw straws. And that's what happened to get this newlywed couple on that island. He drew the short straw, and they ended up there in one of those terrible storms, one of those perfect storms. You ever see the movie The Perfect Storm? One of those storms came up. And that's why this is a ghost story. It's called The Keeper of the Light.
Of Boone Island off the coast of Maine, your story's often told. How you drift across the boulders when the winds blow wild and cold. Sailors hear your mournful wails when squalls come up at night, and they know they're in the presence of the keeper of the light. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men we've seen you and the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white, lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. We all heard about your husband, he was the keeper of the light. How he drowned in raging waters on that fateful winter night. He kept the lighthouse burning strong, keep the sailors warned, and save the lives of countless men the 5 days of the storm. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men we've seen you and the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white, lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. When they found you in the lighthouse, once they'd made it across the reef, you drifted into madness from exhaustion and grief. For 5 days without food or sleep, you kept the ships from harm. Then you sat down with his frozen, lifeless body in your arms. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men we've seen you and the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white, lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men we've seen you and the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white, lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. You're lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. You're lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to keep just plugging away at those requests that I got on the break. I better get this one done. Otherwise, I won't walk out of here.
This is a song that you have to sing along with. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling. Michael, they have taken you away, for you stole Trevelyan's corn, so the young might see the morn. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Here we go. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling. Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine and the crown, I rebelled, they ran me down. You must raise our child with dignity. Come on! Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. By a lonely harbor wall, she watched the last star falling as the prison ship sailed out against the sky. Sure, she'll wait and she'll hope and she'll pray for her love in Botany Bay. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. Come on! Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. Welcome. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go to the piano here for a second. I think it's time. We're in church, right? It's going to have a service here in just a little while. Probably should do a hymn. The lone wild bird in lofty flight is still with thee, nor leaves thy sight. And I am thine, I rest in thee, Great Spirit, come and rest in me. The ends of earth are in thy hands, the seas dark, deep, and far off land, and I am thine, I rest in thee, Great Spirit, come and rest in me. And I am thine, I rest in thee, Great Spirit, come and rest in me. And I am thine, I rest in thee, Great Spirit, come and rest in me. Thank you. My dad and I had a duo back in the 90s we called Rowe by Rowe. Thank you, Mom. And we recorded that on our debut CD, which, what year is it? It's 2024. That CD will be 30 years old in 2 years. 28 years ago, we recorded that. Which brings me to another painful point. When my dad passed away in 2004, Schooner Fair had been around for 28 years, if that gives you any basis for measuring this time. Wow. Ow. All right. I better carry on or I'm going to just lose my mind. You know what? I'm going to do a Tom Rowe song. Let's get that going. I'm sure he'd appreciate hearing that.
He was well into his 60s when I first heard Grandpa's dream. A farmhouse by the sea and some roots in the land. He never got the farm, what he got was a machine in a factory at the edge of town in broken, calloused hands. It stole away his years and the music from his ears, and it left him so he couldn't even hear the factory horn. Still he said someday he knew he'd get his way and end up his days on a saltwater farm. Try it out. Saltwater farm, my saltwater farm. A little bit of heaven, just a house and a barn. Mornings we'd go fishing, work the fields in the afternoon. And as the evening tide rolls in, there'd be songs beneath the moon. And later I would take you in my arms and listen to the sounds of my saltwater farm. He said he'd have a cow, some chickens and a hog, a barn filled up with hay and a boat down in the cove. Later in the fall he'd go hunting with a dog, and winter nights he'd sit around and read beside the stove. Well, he was always kind of poor, and he could have dreamed for more than a place where he would still have to work with his hands. But that never was his way, and I can still hear him say, son of man is at his best between the sea and the land. Saltwater farm, my saltwater farm. Come on. A little bit of heaven, just a house and a barn. Mornings we'd go fishing, work the fields in the afternoon. And as the evening tide rolls in, there'd be songs beneath the moon. Later I would take you in my arms and listen to the sounds of our saltwater farm. Saltwater farm, my saltwater farm. Come on, take it. Yeah! Mornings we'd go fishing, work the fields in the afternoon. And as the evening tide rolls in, there'd be songs beneath the moon. Later I would take you in my arms and listen to the sounds of our saltwater farm. Saltwater farm, my 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 saltwater farm. Thank you. Can I trouble you with another new song?
Just barely, but that'll do. This is sort of the anti-saltwater farm song. Living on the water as I do, I've been noticing a few things over the last 5 years. Storms are getting stronger, and waters are rising. As a matter of fact, one of our favorite places to dock when we're coming through the Portsmouth, Norfolk area is a place called High Street Landing. And every day at high tide, this dock that was put there for people to use in Portsmouth, every day at high tide, it's a foot underwater. I have to think that it's been there a while. I know it's been there a while. I have to think that the people of Portsmouth who built that dock were not working underwater when they put it in. And they probably knew how high the average high tide was and probably set it just above that level. It's a foot underwater every day at high tide. We build a lot of things in places we probably shouldn't. And sometimes it's heartbreaking. Beach home. Tall sea grasses wave on bitter wind. The sand dampens and chills your shoes. The screeching gulls betray you now as you ponder how much you will lose. This was your home since you were so young. You knew every board and each nail. Built by your dad when you were just 10, before you liked girls or could sail. But nature is never to be trifled with when she rages at what she can't abide. And your humble beach home is just in the way of the wind and the waves and the tide. So you dig through the sand with blistered cold hands, looking for a picture or a charm. This place was like heaven for 49 years, till the weatherman raised the alarm. You packed up your bag as you'd done countless times for each springtide nor'easterly blow. And each time you'd return for another reprieve, how your luck ran out you'll never know. But nature is never to be trifled with when she rages at what she can't abide. And your humble beach home was just in the way of the wind and the waves and the tide. Telling for now what you'll do with this place, your corner of heaven on earth's upturned face. Would you build here again, or allow for the truth that to quarrel with nature itself is uncouth? So you gather those things that you just can't replace. You found photos that mostly stayed dry. A sandy-soaked Afghan from Grandma with love, you straighten with tears in your eye. You pack what is left in the back of your Ford, and you ponder one time at the moon.
It rises above you like nothing had changed. In that storm on the last afternoon. But nature is never to be trifled with when she rages at what she can't abide. And your humble beach home was just in the way of the wind and the waves and the tide. Yes, your humble beach home was just in the way of the wind and the waves and the tide. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have you had a good time tonight? I sure have. I don't get to do this nearly as much as I used to. Not nearly as much as I like to either, but I also like being on a boat. And there's one thing that I've learned, is that boating with a schedule is dangerous. It's very dangerous. So when we are underway, I don't schedule concerts. And when we're not underway, I try to schedule concerts. So I had a concert on May 18th up in Northeast Maryland, and we knew we had to go through there. We needed a place to park the boat while we were overseas anyway, so we said, well, we'll use that Northeast Maryland spot. That's a good place to just put down roots for a little while. Do the concert, have plenty of time. We'll get there in plenty of time to do the concert, go to Norway, come back, and we were going to leave 2 weeks ago. And Chuck Morris got in touch with me, and he said, so you're going to be in the neighborhood for a while? I said, yeah, until mid-June. He said, you said end of June, right? I said, no, mid-June. He said, end of June, right? He was very persuasive. So we extended our stay here while we were sitting still so that I could do this. So, thank you, Chuck. And also thank you to Brent for sitting there with the knobs and the faders and helping me sound good and setting up with me and just being a good friend. Brent over there behind the board. And of course, you can visit my website. How many have been to the website lately? A couple of you. All right, it's daverowemusic.com. Don't forget it. And if you want to follow my cruising, that's aboard stinkpot.com. Stinkpot's the name of the boat. And we actually, I blog there. If you go there right now, you'll see a lot of pictures of the fjords of Norway. They're gorgeous. The pictures are just gorgeous, and they don't even begin to do justice to what we saw over there. But I digress. I got to keep it moving because I'm going to run out of songs and time, which is, you want to run out at the same time. Is that too much inside baseball? Anyway, all right. I'll just keep it going here. Great. Oh, what's that? Oh, I'll get there. Don't steal my thunder. I'm gonna do a piano song here. So this song came about it was a few years ago when, remember that time, the Dark Ages, when there were certain people in our society who, if they loved each other, they couldn't marry? Remember those dark times? I wrote this song for them. And thankfully, it's not as needed today as then. But
it's still needed in a lot of ways. This is called Standing on the Side of Love. There is no need to hide your face when you're standing on the side of love. You've found the soul of the human race when you're standing on the side of love. Hold out your hand, put it in my own. Conquer fear with hope, for you're never alone. We can stand as one as we make it known. We're standing on the side of love. There is no fear, just sweet release when you're standing on the side of love. Not a thing to proffer but this one belief, that we're standing on the side of love. Hold out your hand, put it in my own. Conquer fear with hope, for you're never alone. We can stand as one as we make it known that we're standing on the side of love. When the sky seems dark, like the stars fell down, we'll be standing on the side of love. When the way's unclear, simply look around, we'll be standing on the side of love. Hold out your hand, put it in my own. Conquer fear with hope, for you're never alone. We can stand as one as we make it known that we're standing on the side of love. Hold out your hand, put it in my own. Conquer fear with hope, for you're never alone. We can stand as one as we make it known that we're standing on the side of love. That we're standing on the side of love. Now we're having too much fun. All right, I'm going to do 2 more songs. I know, right? I could just go all night. Oh, that's good. You should try this. I actually am I'm teetering on the bleeding edge of having a voice and not. I think I've managed okay tonight, but I'm going to pop one of these magic throat lozenges. They're called Vocal Zone, and if you use your voice a lot and you find yourself in a situation where you need to use your voice but you are unsure whether you will have it or not, these things are worth their weight in gold. Let me tell you, they taste awful. But man, oh man, you get over that fast when you go, oh, wow, I can speak. By request. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go, and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. When you come and all the flowers are dying and I am dead as dead I will maybe, I bid you come to the place where I am lying. Kneel and say an Ave there for me, and I will hear those soft you tread above me, and all my grace you come to me. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, and the valley's hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be here in sunshine or in shadows. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for ignoring your television for a night. Isn't it great? It just feels good, doesn't it? Sitting in a room with a bunch of people you don't know, singing songs you don't know the words to. There's nothing like it. Which is why we're going to end on this song. I was called, got a phone call from a radio host, a folk DJ, and he said, Dave, my show is on every Sunday, and this Sunday I'm going to play some of your songs. Boy, thank you. That's great. He says, I'd love it if you tuned in and just listened to the show. Sure, love to. Sunday rolled around. I turned it on. He neglected to mention it was a 3-hour show. Nor did he tell me when during the show he'd be playing my songs, so I listened to all 3 hours. And the first hour went by, and I listened to a lot of the music, and I thought, boy, this is some good music. I wouldn't call it folk music necessarily. These are singer-songwriters. And yes, singer-songwriter falls under that big folk umbrella. But to me, to call something folk music, and nothing against those who call that folk music. This isn't that. But I think that a song needs to go through a process to become really a folk song. I think people need, if you were walking down the street singing a song and somebody else who doesn't know you hears you singing that song and starts humming it themselves, that's a folk song. All right? Because suddenly it's becoming part of us as folks, as a society. It's becoming part of our musical vernacular. And so I write a lot of songs, and darn few of them would I really consider folk songs because they just haven't gone through that process, you know. Love me do, you know I love you. Folk song, right? We were all right there, weren't we? We were all right there. Folk song. It takes that little bit of a process. And just because I just wrote a song that fits that style well doesn't necessarily make the jump for me. So I'm listening to this folk radio show, and I haven't heard anything that fits that description yet. But I'm hopeful when the second hour goes by, and I'm still hearing just singer-songwriter. And most of these, it's good music, but by and large, most of them were like, my girlfriend left me and I'm sad. You know, it's just song after song after song about people, about singer-songwriters using their guitar as a way to stroke their hurt feelings from their relationships that have gone sour. And after about 2.5 hours, I actually turned and I yelled at my radio. I said, "Your love life will never be a folk song." And I thought to myself, somebody should write that song. Maybe tragic, the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. Try that. Your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. See, now it's a folk song. It was special, you know, the world just has to agree. The way she looked at you and you were so cool with that guitar on your knee. From the very start, she brought new songs into your beating heart. Then she left you, and we all know how she tore you all apart. It may be tragic, the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. Folk songs have been around and sung for many years, sung by young and old in many kitchens, clubs, and theaters. Start singing one and folks around you join in harmony. So that breakup song you wrote for her ain't folk, you must agree. It may be tragic, the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. Thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but you'll never be a folk song. Oh, you're It may be tragic, the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. It may be tragic, the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest
to the Gulf Stream waters. But your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. Oh, your love life will never be a folk song. Oh, your love life will never be a folk song. Thanks, everyone.
I don't know about you, but I just feel like I've been sitting in Dave's living room, letting him tell stories and sing songs to us. How about you? And I say there's no better way to spend a Saturday night than that. All right, couple of quick things before we go. Special thanks to Abigail Wertman for doing the streaming, video streaming. Special thanks to our partners at Focus Music, specifically Rob Hinkle, who did the program and did a lot of publicity for tonight. The World Folk Music volunteers, Joanne Nana and Bill Mims and Yvonne Morse. And then our church crew here that also supports us, Brian LaFleur, and the crew that he brings to help with setting up tables and chairs. So with that, thank those, a round of applause to thank those folks. All right. So we want everybody to have a great summer. Come back in October 26th for Carrie Newcomer. Look at WFMAnet .net for tickets to come out in the next few weeks, hopefully. And with that, we thank you so much for coming out. We have a lot of artists that want to play, but we can't put on any of these shows without an audience. So coming out and supporting live music really keeps us going, gives us energy, and wants us to keep bringing you more concerts. So thanks for that. Have a good night, everyone. Drive safe. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here anymore. We'll see you next time.